This question starts by saying functions f and g are defined by f of x is equal to x minus 1 and g of x is equal to x minus 3 divided by 3x minus 7. So part A says to find what is g of 2. So to find what is g of 2, we have to substitute 2 in the place of x in the function g. So now we have g of x ready. What we can do now is substitute 2 in the place of x in g. Always we see x, we're going to put 2 to find g of 2. So that will be g of 2 is equal to 2 subtract 3 divided by 3 times 2 subtract 7. 2 subtract 3, that's negative 1, divided by 3 to the 6 subtract 7 is also negative 1. And negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. So g of 2 is equal to negative 1. So now part 2 says, hence find f of g of 2. Now to find f of g of 2, we have to start from the right and find g of 2 first, and then find f of g of 2. Now we have found g of 2 already, so that's why the question says hence. So we find g of 2, and now we can use g of 2 to find f. So we're going to find f of g of 2. Now f now is equal to x minus 1, so let's prepare f. So that's A part 1. So part 2 now, we're going to prepare f. F of x is equal to x minus 1. So now we can find what is f of g of 2. F of g of 2 and finding f of g of 2 is finding f of 1 because g of 2 is 1. So f of g of 2 is equal to 1 minus 1 because g of 2 is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So f of g of 2 is actually equal to 0. B part 1 says we have to find f of f. So we need to find f of f, so we have to find what is f first. F is x minus 1. Okay? So we're going to find f of f. So finding f of f is finding f of x minus 1. So we're going to substitute x minus 1 into f. Remember, f is x minus 1. Okay? So where x is now, we're going to put x minus 1. So f of f is x minus 1 minus 1. So now all we have to do is to simplify. So that's x minus 1 minus 1. And minus 1 is minus 2. That's 1 to the left and another 1 to the left. So that's 2 to the left. So f of f is x minus 2. Now we have to find what is g of f. Now we always start from the right. This is called composite functions. So to find g of f, we have to start with f. We have to find what is f first. So f is x minus 1. Now we have to find what is g of f. So now we have to find what is g. G is actually, here it is, x minus 3 over 3x minus 7. That's g. So now we can find what is g of f. So it's always whenever you are composing functions, you always start from the right. So first, we have to find what is f. Here is f. And then we have to find g of f. And we know what g of x is. So always we see x in g, we have to put f. So we have to put f here, and we have to put f here. Now what is f? F is x minus 1. So x minus 1 have to come here, and x minus 1 have to come here, and then we simplify. So that's x minus 1 minus 3. And then 3x, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times minus 1 is minus 3, because we clear in brackets, 3x, and then 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. And then we simplify. Minus 1 minus 3, that's minus 4. A negative and a negative is a negative. And minus 3 and minus 7 is minus 10. A minus and a minus is a minus. So gf of x minus 4, g of f is equal to x minus 4 over 3x minus 10. Now part C says to find the values of x for which f of f is equal to 3x squared. Now we know what is f of f. F of f is equal to x minus 2. And the question says to find the values of x. So we have to solve for x. We have to get values for x, for which f of x is equal to 3x squared plus 2. So therefore now we can make x minus 2 equal to 3x squared, because this question is saying f of f is also 3x squared. So we can also see that this now, x minus 2 is also equal to 3x squared. Because the question says f of x is 3x squared, and we know f of f is x minus 2. So now we can use this portion here to solve for x. Now this is going to be a quadratic, so we have to bring everything on one side to make the quadratic equal to 0. So we can cancel out both x and negative 2 by subtracting x and adding 2 from the left. So we can subtract x and add 2. If we subtract x on the left, we have to subtract x on the right. If we add 2 on the left, we have to add 2 on the right. Because when you're solving a quadratic, you have to make it equal to 0 so that you can use the quadratic formula. So now we are left with 0 is equal to 3x squared minus x plus 2, or 3x squared minus x plus 2 is equal to 0. You can read from right to left. So now we have to identify what is a, b, and c. A is the coefficient of x squared, which is a, which is 3. So a is 3, b is negative 1, and c is equal to 2. So now we have identified what is a, b, and c. We can substitute into the quadratic formula. So we can look at the quadratic formula here. Here it is. And then we can solve for x, find the values. So we also get 2 values for x by substituting a, b, and c into the quadratic formula. And we can do that because we have made the quadratic equal to 0. So now, here we're going to substitute the value of b. The value of b is negative 1. And we're going to put the value of b in 2 different places because b appears twice. Here we're going to put a. A is equal to 3, so we substitute 3 here. C is equal to 2, so we substitute 2 here. And a again appears, so we have to put 3 here also. Now, here now we have negative of negative 1. Negative of negative, that will give us a positive. So this is positive 1 right here. A negative 1 squared, that is a positive 1. And we have negative 4 by 3, 6 by 2. So that is negative 12. And then we have 2 3s are 6. Now, under the square root sign, we have 1 minus 12. That will give us negative 11. And then if we try to find the square root of negative 11, we're going to get a math error. So therefore, now this quadratic does not have any roots. So there are no values for x. So that f of f is equal to 3x squared. No solution. That's the conclusion. No values of x. So there are no values of x such that f of x is equal to 3x squared. Just to recap, we find f of x is x minus 2. And then we equate that to 3x squared. Then we cancel out x and minus 2 from the left-hand side. So we have to add 2 and subtract x. Subtract x and add 2 equals 0. So we find a is equal to 3, and b is equal to negative 1, and c is equal to 2. And when we substitute into the quadratic formula, we are getting the square root of negative 11. So therefore, there are no values of x such that f of x is equal to 3x squared. So just to recap, we find what is g of 2 by substituting 2 into g. 2 minus 3 is minus 1. 3 to the 6 minus 7 is negative 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. So we have found g of 2 is equal to 1. So we can find what is fg of 2 by substituting g of 2, which is 1, into f. So fg of 2 is 1 minus 1, which is 0. Now, to find what is f, we have to substitute f into f. We know f is x minus 1. So we're going to put x minus 1 into x minus 1, where x is. So x minus 1 minus 1, that will give us x minus 2. So ff is x minus 2. Then we found gf by starting from the right. We find what is f, and then we're going to put f now into g. G is x minus 3, so we have x minus 1 minus 3 over 3x minus 7, 3 times x minus 1 minus 7. So f is into g. Always start from the right to the left when you are doing composite function. And then we simplify. X minus 1 minus 3 is my x minus 4. 3x minus 3 minus 7, 3x minus 10. And here we have trying to find the values of x such that ff is equal to 3x squared. Ff is x minus 2. So x minus 2 equal to 3x squared. We're going to try to see if that is possible. If x minus 2, if there are values of x such that x minus 2 is equal to 3x squared. And then to do that now, we have to solve a quadratic by equating to 0, cancel all on the left side, find the values of a, b, and c, and then we have found that it is not possible. There are no values of f that are equal to 3x squared.